Hello, everyone. That you're here from the Next Issue podcast. On today's video, let's talk about everything you need to know about Den of Thieves 2018 with the upcoming sequel headed to the theaters as of this weekend, Den of Thieves 2 Pantera. I wanted to actually, my original plan was to go watch the movie and then do a review for it. But due to the weather and circumstances out of my control, I was not able to go watch the movie yet. So I figured, let me watch the original in preparation for the new film. And man, oh man, I had a really, really good time. The original film is rated R with a runtime of 2 hours and 20 minutes, so it is a little bit of a long film. And it stars, here's kind of the main people. Gerard Butler is Nick O'Brien, who is one of the major crimes uh, police that show up. Pablo Schreiber is Ray Merriman, who is kind of the main antagonist. O'Shea Jackson Jr. is Donnie Wilson, and 50 Cent is Ensign Lovex. He's one of Merriman's crew. Um, I love this movie. It's a heist, but it's a really slow burn heist. It's full of like an exploration of these characters where even the good guys are not really good guys. They're the bad guys. Like that's one of the big lines that they talk about. So no, this major crimes unit or this unit of from I believe they're the Rangers, the sheriff's department, the county sheriff's department. That's what they are. Um, they want to catch these thieves that have been hitting a bunch of banks. Right, this is all about bank robberies. And I think they do a really, really good job of just giving you a story, giving you a little bit more background on these characters. So let's go over kind of what happens in this film, and then I'll talk about how I think that's going to relate to the sequel. This film is original. Den of Thieves 2018 was directed by Christian Gudegast, and it's a gritty heist thriller set in Los Angeles. The film weaves a cat and mouse game between a notorious crew of bank robbers and an elite unit of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. Um, the plot kind of goes as this. The story follows Big Nick O'Brien, portrayed by Gerard Butler, who is a hard-edged, morally ambiguous sheriff's detective who's obsessed with catching this highly skilled gang of thieves, led by the cunning Ray Merriman, portrayed by Pablo Schreiber. And you already know if Pablo Schreiber shows up in one of your shows, he's probably the bad guy. He's a former Marine turned criminal mastermind. His crew includes a sharp team of professionals such as driver Donnie Wilson, who becomes a key figure in the unfolding drama. The gang plans an audacious heist to rob the Federal Reserve Bank in downtown LA, a seemingly impenetrable fortress where worn out cash is destroyed. The stakes are immense. The operation requires meticulous planning. Meanwhile, O'Brien and his unit race down to anticipate their every move, utilizing unorthodox and brutal tactics to close out on the criminals. As the story unfolds, loyalties are tested and the tension between the two groups reaches a boiling point in what I think is one of the coolest sequences of the film and just in film in general. The film culminates in a pulse pounding showdown filled with double crosses, a twist ending that redefines the entire narrative, and just these themes of deception, loyalty, and survival all throughout. This is just a really cool, complex, adrenaline fueled romp that I really enjoy. And that's one of the reasons I like this movie. I've seen it multiple times. I did a review for it recently, and by that I mean just like within the last year or so. Just because I watched it and I was like, "Oh, this is really good," and then a little bit after that, they announced that they were making a sequel, so I was very excited about that. This is not a film that I thought would get a sequel. This feels like just a thing that they would do a one-off, and that's it. So I was very interested. So I'm gonna get a lot into spoilers, not a little bit. I'm gonna get a lot into spoilers for the film. At the end of the film, after the whole guy heist goes through, and the sheriff's department takes out most of the gang from Merryman, we find out that it was Donnie O'Shea Jackson's character who is actually the mastermind of the whole thing, and him and a few other people that were outside of our purview uh, actually got away with everything. So in this upcoming film, we see that it looks like Nick's been a trouble character all throughout. He's been skirting the line between right and wrong for the majority of the film. So I think in this next film, based on the trailers, based on everything I've seen, he will now follow Donnie and be a part of his upcoming heist, whatever that ends up being. So I think it's going to be interesting to see them because I want to see the moment where he kind of puts all this together. That's not something that they discover. It The film tells us in like a little closing credit scene, but we don't ever see Nick, Gerard Butler's character, realize that it was Donnie who kind of put everything together. So that's really interesting. And then also, of course, they had a really interesting dynamic because Donnie was only kind of like a driver and almost like an informant for the sheriff's department. So now the dynamic is kind of flipped, whereas maybe Nick is going on the wrong side of the law, or is he? Maybe he's just setting up a trap to catch him. So yeah, I'm very excited to go watch the sequel of Den of Thieves, Pantera. Also, why is it called Pantera? Like that's something that I don't really know yet, and I'm very excited to find out. So yeah, I really like this movie. We have a full review for it on the channel. You can check it out. I'll drop a link in the description of the video. And if you've seen the new one, let me know without spoilers what did you think about it. I'll do a follow video. I'll definitely do a review for Den of Thieves 2. And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.